Hello everyone, I hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for stopping by. Well, today I get to guest design for Scrapping for Less. I get to reveal the brand new November 2018 Flavor of the Month kit. This is a content sheet here. Scrapping for Less offers two different kind of card kits. This is the Double Dip Sundae here, and then if you want the Mac Daddy, which is everything, there's a banana split option here. This is available for download, and I will leave links below if you want to check this out. Also, today I'll be using the sketch sheet available over at Scrapping for Less for download also. It has 4 sketches, and so we'll use that as inspiration for our cards today. Now we're going to take a look at the kit. We always start off with a cardstock. You get some safety orange cardstock, a spearmint, it's real pretty green. You get a black licorice, a pink lemonade, you get a grout gray, a steel blue, and then those are all MFT cardstocks, and then you get 2 sheets of the Nina 110-pound cardstock, which is a heavyweight. These are your 4 collections that come in the Scrapping for Less Flavor of the Month kit. They're packaged individually, which is so nice. And then if you get the banana split, this is the extra little pack here. So we're going to be using the banana split level today. We're going to take a look at collection number 1. We'll just open up this little goodie bag, and there's a lot packed in this little package. We're going to start off with the envelope. Each of the collections come with an A2 sized envelope, which is lovely. And then the pattern paper for collection 1 is called Twinkle Glitz, and it's by DCWV. And they are super sparkly, and they're no shade glitter. Very regal themed. So you get a damask glitter cardstock, you get a black, you get the diagonal stripes, some silver, you get some black and silver polka dots, and then like a gray colored glitter cardstock. For the stamp set, it's a Scrapping for Less exclusive, and it's called If I Fly, or What If I Fly? Super pretty. Also included in collection number 1 is some ephemera pieces. This is by Bo Bunny's Black Tie Collection. Now this is a little large for an A2 size card, but if you want to trim it down, you can make a landscape style card, and then you get a couple more pieces of ephemera. Super cute. Also included are 2 little butterflies. These are by Petal, I believe, and then you get a bag of sequins from Buttons Galore that coordinate beautifully. So that's everything you get in collection number 1. We'll just set all of these aside and move along to collection number 2. Now the pattern paper in collection number 2 is by Scrapping for Less. It's called Rustic Elegance. There's your envelope, and these are double-sided, and they're super smooth, and they're pretty thick too. But they're double-sided and very rustic and kind of dainty too, with those little white accents. You get these are 6x6 pattern papers, double-sided again. For the stamp set, you get the Scrapping for Less exclusive called Bloom. Very pretty. You get 2 tags. One says hello, one says for you. Now I'm not sure if your tags will vary. Sometimes with the Scrapping for Less they take a collection and they divide it. But these are the 2 tags that I get, and you also get the little ribbon that goes in there. You just thread it through. You get 3 of the wooden doilies, and you get some sequins that coordinate by Buttons Galore. So that's everything in collection number 2. Now for collection number 3, we're going to take a look. You get your envelope, and then the pattern papers, you get 6 of them, and these are double-sided, and they're by Echo Park. This is called the Fashionista collection. Super cute. So you get 6 of those. The stamp set is Sugar and Spice by Santoro, and this little gal is just adorable. This will be my first time coloring one of the Santoro stamps, so I look forward to doing that. But that's your stamp for this collection. Then you also get some Fashionista ephemera pieces that coordinate with your pattern papers. And I know your ephemera pieces will vary. So what I'm showing you here, you may not get, but it'll still coordinate with your pattern papers. And then you get your sequins, and then also you get a pink bling roll, and it's about 14 inches long, and it cuts beautifully for your projects. So that is everything in collection number 3. Now for collection number 4, we're going to take a look at the paper pad. This is the Dapper Man by Scrapping for Less. And it's really smooth. I've never seen cardstock like this, but it's really nice. You get some nice masculine pattern papers, which is fantastic. These are double-sided as well. And I believe with the pattern papers, they might vary also. So what I show you, you might not get. That was the Dapper Man stamp set by Scrapping for Less. You get some enamel dots by Echo Park, some metal arrows by Tim Holtz, 2 of them, and then you get your sequin mix. So that is everything in collection number 4. You get tons in Scrapping for Less Flavor of the Month kits. Now, if you get the banana split level, you get an extra goodie bag here, and this is it. We're going to open it up and take a look. In this month kit, you get your stamp set, and it's called Putting on a Spritz by Scrapping for Less. You also get a Sunny Studio die that says Sparkle, perfect size for card making. And then you also get some We Are Memory Keepers gems. Now you might get gems or you might get pearls, but so it will vary on that as well. And then you also get a white pen from Reminisce, and I wanted to see how this writes because I'm so used to my Uniball, but it really writes great on dark color cardstock. You can see here. So that's a nice little handy tool, nice little stash builder. So that's everything with the banana split level. We'll take a quick recap on everything that you get with the Scrapping for Less November kit this month. It's called Sophisticated and Elegant, and they're celebrating this kit with a blog hop. So I encourage you to check it out. These are your pattern papers. So you get 6 colored, 2 white. And again, the colored cardstock is MFT. White is Nina. These are your 4 collections, and then your extra little goodie bag for your banana split. Okay, now that we got through all the contents, I'm going to be creating 4 cards using the sketch sheet here. We're going to start off with sketch number 1, and I thought we'd make a masculine card, so we're going to grab collection number 4. We're going to use the Dapper Man stamp set. Now, I thought the hat in here was super cute. So, I don't think gentlemen wear hats anymore, but I sure think they're sharp looking. Okay, I'm going to use this pattern paper, and I thought we'd do some stamping on the pattern paper. I also got the sentiment that says, "Hey, handsome." I'm going to ink up the hat with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink, and I'm going to stamp that on the stripe paper, but I did angle it, so my stripes on the hat are at a diagonal. We'll just trim that out. Next, we're going to stamp our sentiment on the gray part of this double-sided or two-sided paper here. We'll just trim out a strip with our sentiment. And then I'm going to flip over. I want to use the polka dot side to stamp one more hat. And I was afraid that my ink was going to slide on that super smooth cardstock, but it stamps really, really well. Okay. I fussy cut out my hat, and I did trim down my sentiment, and I added an extra strip of the gray cardstock or pattern paper because I'm following the sketch and I wanted an extra little piece. But just to give my hat a little definition, I'm going to go in with a couple of my Copic markers. I have a B18 and then a C6, and we'll use those on the banner, or I guess it's a hat banner. So once my hats are colored in, I did cut out 2 panels with the black pattern paper and then also with the plaid pattern paper. Now my panel sizes are 4 inches by 5 1/4. I'm going to take the plaid and angle the bottom portion of it. Lovely. Now with the black pattern paper, I thought we would run it through the die cut machine or emboss it. So I found this pattern paper, it's kind of on the masculine side, kind of reminds me of tire treads. So I'm going to run that through and emboss my black pattern paper here, and it embosses beautifully here. Next we'll take the polka dot. It's the same pattern paper we used for the hat. I just trimmed it to a 2-inch strip, and I'm fishtailing the end. We're going to slide that underneath the plaid paper. I'm going to add a little bit of tape to it, and then we'll secure this banner right underneath our plaid paper, kind of lining it up. We're going to add foam tape behind the plaid paper and also the banner. So I like to adhere them together first and then add my foam tape. Just makes it a little bit easier. Once I have foam tape added, I did add that to my embossed background. Now we're going to work on our sentiment. I'm going to trim the right side, and then I will fishtail the end. Just kind of arrange our placement. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that to a piece of vellum that I die cut out with a circle die. Once I have it positioned where I'm happy, I will take my scissors and trim off that extra vellum that's hanging over. Here's where I'm going to take that extra strip, and I'm going to line them both up. I'm not worried about the seam because we're going to cover that seam up with our hats. But this is a great way to extend the length of your pattern papers. We'll flip our hats over and add some foam squares behind there. And we'll place them kind of wonky right next to our sentiment. Covering up that seam. I don't have very many masculine cards in my stash, so this was fantastic. Now I went to add my tape runner, and there was a lot of dimension on my panel, so my tape runner wasn't adhering to the smooth cardstock, so I'm just going to use some double-sided sticky tape. I think if it was completely flat, my tape runner would have worked better. Now for my card base, I created it using the black licorice cardstock. I just cut it in half and scored it down the middle to create an A2 size card base. Next we'll take some foam tape and add that behind our sentiment and place that back on our card base. I pulled out the white pen that came with this month's kit, and I'm adding some dash lines around my sentiment. And then I did add a few of the enamel dots. And that finishes off card number 1 using sketch number 1 and collection number 4 ingredients. Now here's some close-up pictures. Now we're going to move along to card number 2. For card number 2, we're going to use collection number 3. So we grabbed the little sugar and spice Santoro girl. I'm going to stamp her on some Nina 80-pound cardstock. I just placed her in my mini Misty, and I'll ink her up with some Memento Tuxedo Black ink. It's Copic friendly ink, and so that's what we're going to use to color in our cute little girl here. Okay, so after I have her stamped, I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to play a little bit of music while I color her in, and when the music is done, I will catch you back. Okay, coloring is all done. Now we're going to take a stitched rectangle die and we're going to cut out our girl and create a panel with her in it. She is so cute. I think she's adorable. Once I have her cut out, we're going to grab some papers from collection number 3. I wanted to use the black and white stripe plaid here, and then also this real pretty pink. I just cut the pink into 3/4 inch strips. And then the black plaid, I already adhered to my white card base, which I used with the Nina 110 pound cardstock. Now using the sketch as a guide, I'm going to adhere my strips of the pink paper to my card base. And I'm just using my little girl panel as a guide on where to place those stripes at. I'll just trim off the excess, and I did already add foam tape behind my girl panel. I'm going to grab the white pen and do a little bit more faux stitching with it. The white pen is actually great for cleaning up Copic mess-ups, which I do a lot of, and it's actually great for faux stitching too. Now I'm going to use the sequins that are in collection number 2. I wanted those, just the little hearts that were in there. I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle, but I wanted it to be real subtle, so I just added 3 little hearts, and then that finishes off card number 2. Here's some close-ups. Okay, for my next project, card number 3, I'm going to use the glitter pattern paper, and I like that it's no shed. It's super neat. So this is the papers from collection number 1. I'm going to use the black glitter and the silver, and I thought we'd do some more stamping on the glitter cardstock. And since it is no shed, it makes it super easy to stamp on. So I'm going to use a stamp set from the Banana Split level, putting on the spritz, and I stamped my little perfume bottle on both the black glitter cardstock and the silver here. I'm going to use my scissors and fussy cut out my little perfume jar. I wanted it to be super fancy. Once we have that cut out, I'm going to use the black glitter cardstock and just cut out that centerpiece. I wanted to add a little dimension to my perfume jar, and so this is going to help out, and it's going to keep it with the glittery theme. So cute. Okay, I'm going to take a piece of dimensional adhesive and add my centerpiece for my perfume jar here. Lovely. Now I cut out a small panel. This panel is 2.5 inches by 3 3/4, and I'm going to create a mask. So I'm going to trim down some Inkadinkadoo masking paper that's the same size as my panel. Next, I'm going to take an oval die that I have in my stash, and I'm going to cut out an oval window in that masking paper. And I'll just run that through the die cut machine. I'll remove the release paper off of my masking paper and place that on my panel. I wanted to do a little bit of shading for the background for my perfume bottle. So I grabbed some Distress Oxide ink. This is spun sugar, and actually spun sugar coordinates super duper well with the pink lemonade cardstock in the kit. So I'm just going to go over my oval circle that we have masked off and add a little bit of color on this panel, but I wanted to go with the sketch, so I thought the oval would work great. We'll just remove our mask, and I think that looks fantastic. Now for my background, I want to use the Damask glitter pattern paper, and again, this is collection number 1's pattern paper. I'm going to trim this down to 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. Next, I cut out a strip with the black glitter cardstock. We're going to adhere the Damask pattern paper on the pink lemonade cardstock. I just created a card base with it by cutting it in half and scoring it in the middle. I'm going to add my center panel in the kind of position where I want that stripe to go. And then again, I'm going to adhere that to my center panel here, and then I'm going to trim off the excess, and then we will add some foam tape behind the black glitter cardstock in that center panel. This gives a dimension. Now, I did add extra amount of foam tape because I didn't stamp my sentiment. I should have stamped that before I added the foam tape. So, I covered it really well with foam tape, and with the 3M, it makes it really easy to stamp sentiments on. So, I grabbed the sentiment that says, "Perfume is a cocktail of memories and emotion." And again, this is from the Banana Split Level stamp set. Using my perfume bottle as a guide, I'll ink up my sentiment with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. Stamp that on our panel. And then I did add foam tape behind my perfume bottle. We'll place that right above the sentiment. And I'm going to leave the card as is because I think with all that sparkle, it doesn't need anything else. I think it's a very elegant card. But here's the sketch sheet that I used, sketch number 3 with collection number 1. Super fun card, and I think it turned out super pretty. Here's some close-ups. Now for my final project today, we are going to be using collection number 2. I'm going to use the pattern paper by Scrapping for Less called Rustic Elegance, and I wanted to use this wood grain. I grabbed a rounded corner rectangle die that I had in my stash, and I created a panel, and I wanted my wood grain to be at a diagonal, so I kind of tilted it on that 6x6 pattern paper. Now, for my card base, I created it with the Grout Gray cardstock that came with this month's kit. For this card, we're going to keep it clean and simple. I'm going to use this little tag that says "For You," and that little flower goes really well with the wood grain pattern paper. I'm also going to take this pink pattern paper, cut out a real thin strip. It's a little bit over 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to take that same pink paper and grab a little heart die that I have in my stash, and I'm going to cut out a heart with that pink pattern paper. Once we have our little heart cut out, I did take a strip of the Grout Gray cardstock and I trimmed it down. It's a little over 1/2 inch also. We'll go ahead and adhere the Grout Gray and then the pink pattern paper to our panel here. Any excess overhanging we're going to trim off. Now I decided to take my crocodile and we're going to corner around the edges of the bottom of our tag. I used the 1/2 inch side. Now all we have to do is add some foam tape behind our tag, add our little heart on that bottom corner there, and then to finish it off we're going to use a few of the sequins that came in collection number 2. Quick and easy card, but I think it turned out so pretty. Lovely. So this is card number 4 using sketch number 4 and collection number 2. So I hope this gives you some ideas and inspiration on how to use the Scrapping for Less flavor of the month kit for November. Here's a look at the 4 cards that I made today with it using the sketch sheet. And again, the content sheet and the sketch sheet are available for download, and I'll leave links below along with a link to the Scrapping for Less shop in case you want to pick up this kit. But I wish you a fantastic day. Thanks so much for joining me, and we will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.